Hello guys, my name is Suraj Nagarwal, and I'm back with a new episode of the Great Marketers Show, where I interview the top marketers and the entrepreneur. Where I believe that all entrepreneurs should take off their entrepreneurship hat and put on their marketer's hat. Because of the good marketing, we are able to change and impact on more lives. So overall, here you will get all your marketing answers. Today, we are inviting the very special guest, Damon. Damon is the founder of SEO National. He is a husband and the father of three, beat a billion-dollar company by outranking their website on Google. Damon has almost 2 decades of experience in the SEO and he's also known as the SEO King. He has a lot of things to share with you, and I'm just going to invite the one and only Damon in the house.
What's up, everybody? Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'm so much grateful to have you here. How's going everything, by the way, Damon?
It was good. Just got back from a trip with my wife and kids. I took a nap today, so I'm fresh off the nap. So I'm excited to chat.
That's really amazing. I see that your post recently, like you have also closed the three clients, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
re-
This morning, yeah.
that's really amazing, and I'm so much grateful to have you on my show. So let's get started the interview. I want to hear about your background story, like how you just came into this industry and how was the experience, what was the biggest struggle, and how just going your life after coming in this whole journey.
Yeah, so my background was originally in web design, and I got into web design because I started a car enthusiast website. So when I was in my 20s, I used to really be into cars, and I started an online community that started to get a lot of participants. And so before Facebook, you would have message boards and forums. And so I had a big community site and I started to wonder how to make it better. And that's how I got more into design. And then as the site continued to grow, I was curious about how to monetize it. And that's how I started to look into marketing. So that's kind of like the beginning of it. But then when I learned the skills through that, I started doing design on the side and I would pick up little small clients here and there. Then what had happened was I had a day job, and my day job, the business got shut down, and they got into a bunch of legal trouble. And I had a choice at that moment to either go find another job, wait to see if that current job worked out, or bet on myself and kind of start my own thing. And so I ended up kind of choosing the last one and took a leap of faith and trusted on myself. And I took the side clients that I had and started my business. And where that started to convert and transition into SEO is one of my design clients asked what I knew about Google. And I told them I knew enough I could probably help them, but not enough that I felt comfortable charging them for it. But I also didn't want to work for free. So I worked out a deal with them and I said, I will temporarily work for free. Let's agree to these goals. And if we hit those goals, then you pay me retroactively for the work, and we also start a monthly contract. And so I ended up hitting those goals. They started a contract, they paid me, and then I enjoyed the process. And I asked another design client if they wanted to do the same deal, and they did, and it worked out well with them. And at that point, I said I think SEO is my thing, and I've stuck to SEO ever since. So 17 years later, now I run an agency.
That's really inspiring story because I was also the guy who was in the same industry. Like I was a designer. Still, I am a designer, but I was just looking a job in 2018 when the lockdown came up, and I was just doing the accounts job. It was a very hard moment for me to just get a job in the IT sector as a software developer, and I have the good skills in the Java, CSS, HTML, and the multiple other languages, which is a very hype in this market right now at the same moment. But yeah, I didn't get the job in this industry, and I just drop out my masters at the
Mm.
end of the semester. So I can understand like how crucial is to take the step of the business, because I was also doing the job, and someone fired me that time, and I don't have the option to choose this online market because I want to go into this designing space, into the development space where I am today. Like I am a funnel designer and
Hmm.
doing it from last 3 days 3 years. Literally it is so amazing to meet the people like you and other people who are just spending their time and just talking as a real person. Even in the job, when I was just connecting with the CEO and the real guys, they were not talking. I
Yeah.
really don't know why. They have some egoistic something, but yeah, that was not the good moment at that time. But I am really appreciate Like the people likes you are coming on the interview show and sharing their lives and the journey with us. I'm so much grateful for that. Thanks, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think entrepreneurs like to give back, but it's much more of a community than the traditional side of business.
200%, man. 200%. RJ is seeing us live. Hi, RJ. How are you? So the second thing I want to ask you, like, what was the biggest success story that you have and struggling business reaching the first page of the Google?
One of my favorite stories is the second client. So I just kind of shared the story of how I started working with the first client SEO, and then I asked that same opportunity to the second client about working out a deal. And that second client at the time they were doing $80,000 annually, if I remember right. And after optimizing their website and working with them for a couple of years, now I think they're up to $1.2 million per month. So now they make 10 times more in a month than they used to in an entire year. So it's cool seeing small businesses like that. It's a family owned business. It's just a guy and his wife, and he started his business in his garage. And so when we were first working with him, he sells a retail product. And so he would manufacture these electronics out of his garage. And so now he has a huge facility. So I always think about him, and we've worked with a lot of really cool big businesses, but they were already successful. So I always it feels more personal with the smaller businesses that went small to big, then big to bigger.
That's really amazing, and just making the 10 times, it's literally my dream thing. Like I want to make like the something big that you are making. Even I see somewhere your post like you have closed the 17,000 something a client. So how you manage that, the whole thing for the clients, like the people who are just paying that much, they are also looking for the greatest result in their websites, in their ranking. So how do you manage that?
So how do we manage an SEO account?
Yeah, SEO counts for them.
Yeah,
Like the
so
people who are just paying you the biggest amount, like the $17,000 and $18,000. I see somewhere your post about that.
mhm. Yeah, so the this we can kind of answer two questions, two answers with this one question. So one is what do we do with SEO, but then two is the difference in accounts and how you provide for your customer, and then also you kind of asked about pain points and growing, and so let's kind of put this all together. One of the most important things that I did was about, I would guess it was about 8 years ago, was documenting processes. And we all hear as entrepreneurs the importance of documenting processes, but until you do it, there's a pretty big difference between thinking and actually experiencing the benefits of documenting your processes. So a couple of years ago, I wanted to grow more, and to grow more, I couldn't do everything. And so I had to bring in more team members. But when you bring in more team members, your first concern is quality control. So how do you continue to provide a really good product when you have to now share it with multiple people doing the work? And so what I did was I documented all the processes, and I had processes, but some were on a spreadsheet and some were on a Word doc and some were in my head. But I brought them all into one location of a project management system. Now, for those entrepreneurs that are considering documenting processes, or are in the middle of doing it, do it really well. Don't do it just good enough that you can check it off the list, because then what happens is your team members, they won't make mistakes on purpose, but they will make mistakes on accident if you don't document the processes. So I pretended like I didn't know what I was doing, and I documented everything in such a clear way that as long as the person doing it could read and follow directions, they didn't necessarily even need to have SEO experience, that they could do it perfectly because I was so specific in the documentation. And what that did is it allowed the company to grow and maintain quality control at scale. So that kind of answers one of the questions about, one of the growing pain points. And because of that, now we can do these big accounts. And now I can go into our project management system and push a couple buttons, and I can kick out 200 tasks to 50 team members with perfect documentation. And probably your the other part of your question is, what are we actually doing for the money that customers pay us? Where we start is we look at the website structure. For those of you that are familiar with SEO, there's a lot that goes into it, but to simplify it, there's three categories. So the first category is your site structure. Does it load quickly? Is it mobile friendly? Does it have good user experience and clear call to action? The second category is content. Do you clearly communicate to search engine and your customers why your product or service is the best? And then the third category is external credibility. So do other websites mention your brand? Do they link to your website? Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, though. They may know those three categories, but what a lot of people are surprised to learn is that the first category is not what you do forever, your site structure. What you do is you fix that, and most of your gains and visibility and sales will come from your content and your credibility. But those content pieces that you write and the blogs and the graphics and the videos and everything you make will only work if you place them on a really well built website. So you can have amazing content, but if your website loads poorly and the design sucks, it's not going to optimize well. So where we start is we put a ton of time into the structure. We make sure it loads 3 seconds or less. We audit all the top navigation pages and make sure they're mobile friendly. We look for broken links, like really standard stuff, but you'd be really surprised. I just audited a new client's site this morning that had a previous SEO company, and these guys are a huge business. And their SEO company didn't do the basics, and they're suffering from it. They got paid thousands of dollars per month. They did lots of content, but they have hundreds of broken links. They have thousands of dead pages. They have hundreds of broken images. Now, maybe where I can kind of finish this comment is the reason why these structure things matter so much is because a really simple way to understand SEO is who makes Google look good. And what I mean by that is Google is less likely to send a visitor to your website if it loads slowly, because that makes them look bad. Or if you have broken links, because that's a poor user experience that makes them look bad. So it's basically just improving the credibility of the website and then continuing to feed the content machine into Google.
Amazing, amazing. Can we use the whole thing also in the funnels?
Can you use what?
In the sales funnels, like can we use the SEO things in the sales
Mm,
funnels?
yeah. So this is a great question because so I'm in Russell Brunson's inner circle, and that whole group is, you know, mostly funnel builders and lots of sales funnels. And most of the group is heavy into paid ads. And so when I got into the group, I tried to figure out how I could bring value without boring everybody with SEO because they're really successful on paid ads, and they should continue to be successful on paid ads. And so what I did is I gave a presentation on what you just asked. What can you take from SEO strategy and apply it to sales funnels? So first, let's kind of clarify the reason why there's a difference between traditional websites and SEO and sales funnels and paid ads is because paid ads and organic are different types of marketing that attract different types of customers. When you do a paid ad, you are usually interrupting somebody. They're scrolling on their social media, and then you catch their attention. They probably didn't know a lot about you. And so when they click on the ad, you want to quickly educate them and then get them to convert. Now, organic traffic is significantly different because organic traffic, the people went looking for a solution. They wanted to learn more. They wanted to read. They have a pain point that they want to solve. And so that's why traditional websites are usually, or SEO is usually geared more towards traditional websites that have content, and then paid ads are usually more geared towards sales funnels that have a quick call to action. So how do you blend those with SEO? Uh, when you're paying for your cost per click on your funnel, part of your cost is based on ad quality score. It doesn't matter if you're paying Facebook, it doesn't matter if you're paying Google. But what these websites will do is when you buy an ad from them, they will check your website and they will rate it. They'll rate it on how quickly it loads. The same SEO things. Is a good user experience? Does it load quickly? Is it mobile friendly? And so the biggest opportunity I see in sales funnels to apply SEO strategies is really basic stuff, mostly page speed. So, for example, check all your images. A lot of times I'll see an image that's maybe it looks like it's 500 pixels wide, but you actually uploaded the raw file that's 5,000 pixels wide. And so even though you see it smaller on screen, it has to load the full weight of the full size image. And so now that's 10 times slower. So when you improve the page load, and if you improve the content relevance, so through blogs and content, so if you take those SEO strategies, it improves your ad quality score. When you improve your ad quality score, it lowers your cost per click. So the most effective way to take SEO and apply it to sales funnels is try to improve the user experience and the page speed. And I've seen people cut their cost per lead from $9 down to $3.80 just by improving the page speed.
Amazing, amazing. I will try to use it. And you tell the right thing. Like, I was using the same way. Like, whenever I was designing the funnel, I was using the broad images to upload there to make it
Hmm.
clear and optimize. But it is not really optimized. That I will make sure to remember that in the next funnel. So so how do you differentiate the clients in a competitive market?
So we look for the opportunities based on what the uniqueness of that product is that the customer sells. So whether it's a product or a service, we first ask them, our goal is to make the business money. And so we try to find the quickest path to monetization. And so that's usually what is unique about your product that makes it better, or which product has more demand, more customers asking to buy that type of product or service. And so once we interview the client and understand where the opportunity is, then we take that and look into the data. There's all sorts of tools out there that you can type in a keyword or an industry, and it will tell you what people are already asking search engines. So that's the big difference between how to be effective in SEO and then just, saying you're doing SEO. A lot of people will just go start writing blogs about the industry, but they're not writing blogs about the problems the ideal buyer has. And so you're just writing generic content about the product or the industry instead of content that attracts people that need your specific thing. So do a lot of research. I'll give you two tools that help with this. One, a lot of people will already be familiar with, answerthepublic.com. It's free. You go in there, you type in, something that you want to rank for, and it'll give you questions that people are already asking search engines. So what that is it's telling you what your customers are begging to know and they need somebody to help them with. So write content about that. Now, there's another tool that I actually like better than Answer the Public. It's very similar, but it gives better results with more detail, and it's called alsoasked.com. It does the same thing, but in greater detail. So when you build out your content strategy, don't write content just to do SEO. Write content to solve problems for a very specific audience. And so figure out who that audience is and what problems and pain points they have, how your product or service can solve it, and then blend those two, blend the solution with their pain point and write content about that.
I got the biggest takeaway here, and also thank for the tool. I will just have a look and just work with using that tools. That's really amazing. Like, the people like you who already sit it right there and sharing their resources, their experience. That's really makes me more grateful to how doing the business in this industry. Like, it is more really really authentic, really really inspiring businesses, and meeting
Yeah.
with the entrepreneurs like you, that's really amazing. It's another level of, you can say, the another life people are living, because people don't see what we are doing on the back end, but
Hmm.
we are making the good relationship with the people like you. So really really amazed. So how do you keep up the keep up with the Google's algorithm changes? Like, Google always changing their algorithms, even the Facebook, Instagram, everyone. But yeah, I want to know about, like, how you manage that. Like,
Yeah, good question. It's probably the opposite answer than you expect. Is I mostly don't care is the answer. So here's why. Is like if you think about we talked about those three main areas of SEO, which is site structure, content, and credibility. If you think of any major algorithm, it's always been focused on those three things. And I'll give you examples here in a minute. So when you build out a good process and do good SEO that focuses on those three areas, the algorithms don't matter. And so anytime we've had a change in an algorithm, my clients have either been neutral or positive. And in 17 years, I've never had a client get a penalty. And it's because I avoid the tricks. I avoid the hacks and the shortcuts. And so there's probably other SEOs out there that can get gains faster than I can, but they don't sustain, they don't stick. And so I focus on the long term gains, not the short term wins. And so if we look at any major algorithm, like back in 2011 and 12, there was Google Penguin and Google Panda. And Penguin focused on external credibility. So what it was, hey, we see SEOs manipulating backlinks, so let's punish them. And so that was have true external credibility. The Panda algorithm was on content, and it was, hey, we see SEOs stealing content from other websites, stealing it from Wikipedia, doing what's called scraping, doing what's called spinning, which just shuffles the content around. And so they said, well, let's punish those websites and focus on the websites that have good content. So that's just the content category. But then we come up to more recent algorithms. I get asked a lot about like voice. Well, voice search, there's no SEO or webmaster recording audios. And so what's happening is it's just an input output mechanism on your device. So you ask Google or Siri or whatever assistant a question, and then what it does is it goes, okay, which website can I find the fastest, right? So that's site structure that has content that solves this problem. So content category that I trust, external credibility. So that's just the same three main areas of SEO. And then like in 2016 was a lot of people called it mobile geddon. It was when Google said, we're going to prioritize mobile friendly websites. Well, that's the same thing. Which website loads in a nice design and quickly? So it's the same thing. It's just good site structure. So as long as you focus on providing good value, making Google look good and actually solving problems, I've never had to be concerned about, what algorithm's coming up next.
That's makes so sense, by the way. That makes really so sense. So is there any content strategy to improve the visibility, or should we need to focus on solving the problem, as you told recently, like write the content to solve the problem, not just to be this SEO expert, just write the content for solving the problem? So should we need to use that, or is there any other content strategies to become?
Yeah, you can repurpose the content. Now, when I say repurpose, don't repurpose other people's content. Repurpose your content. So let me answer that two ways. One is on, do you solve problems? So yes, focus on writing content for not for your industry, but for the right buyer in your industry. Focus it on very specifically. Like for example, for me, I don't optimize for the word SEO because the only other people that Google SEO are other SEOs, and so I don't need them. They're not going to buy my product, so I don't optimize for them. So you want to focus on writing content that is specific to the person you want to talk to. Now, when I was talking about one of our new clients earlier, when quality is better than quantity. So this new client, their old SEO writes 10 pieces of content per month. That's a good amount. I proposed to them that we're going to write two. And so we're focusing on quality more than quantity. Now, the other thing that you can do, back to the repurposing topic, is when you focus on writing specific content that solves a problem and you have an intention, because you spent all that time and you know that it's for the right customer, this is where you want to repurpose it because you want to amplify it and magnify it. So, what you can do is you can take that text that's already perfect with lots of research in it and then use that as a script for a video, or you can use that as an outline for an infographic. So what happens is when you repurpose the content, now search engines will look at your website and say, well, your website is more diversified. It has more than just text. It has more credibility, so let's rank it higher. But then also what happens, because you have different types of content, because you have the images and the videos, then when we go to Google, we have a couple types of results, right? We have the text results, but then we have videos, and then we have images. So when you repurpose well-written content into graphics and videos, then now you can show up more than once because you can show up in the text results, but then your video can show up in the video carousel and your image can show in the image carousel. So now you have more touch points and more visibility. So the customer sees your brand name more, so they start to trust you more. But then you also suppressed your competition because there's still only the same amount of results, but now you have more of them because you have different types of content.
That's really makes so sense. Thanks for the whole descriptions. and describing the whole process, like it's really makes so sense. I'm not a SEO expert, but I'm thinking to use it the same way like you told. Like we don't need to write the content for the specific industry, but for the specific person that who want to talk with. That's really makes so sense. And again the golden nugget for me. So so how do you target the people for the local audience, for the business, and the for the with the physical stores, uh, like Russell has the ebook, so he's also he can be targeting the people for the local area like the Utah. So is there any way for that?
Oh, like paid ads or targeting locally with paid ads versus targeting locally with organic?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
No, yeah, yeah. It is a similar thing. Like how we can just target the local audience for the businesses with the physical stores.
mhm.
Like
Yeah, so if you have a physical location with a physical address, there's a couple differences. So you still do content, you still do good site structure, you still do credibility. But a really simple way to think about SEO is you can only show up on search engines for what they can read. So if you want to rank for a certain city or state or province or country, you have to mention those locations. So usually what we do is we build out, pillar pages, the money pages, and then from there, when you start to map out your content calendar, um, when you build out those blog pieces that we talked about that talk to a specific audience, they have two purposes. One is to get the customer in the door. So, depending on what you write about, it should answer their question. When they go to Google and ask the question, you show up, it brings them into your website. So, your goal in that piece of content is to educate them, showcase that you're an authority and that you can solve their problems. And then, as you communicate in the blog how you solve their problem, then you have a call to action to your pillar page, your money page. Now, what happens is, so that brings the customer in and then points them to the steps that you want them to take. But what it also does is, because that page ranks well and that page links to your money page, it increases the credibility of your money page too. So when you're writing about these, whether it's the money page or the location pages, you have to clearly communicate to search engines that you're an authority in the product or service, and you're also an authority in that location. So you have to write about those locations. Now, the other thing that you can do is you want to show up in third party sites and maps and listings, but you want to be careful about, there's a lot of people that will say, I just got a message a while ago where it's like, hey, I can buy you citations. you know you have to focus on quality over quantity on your citations and links too. And so, like, one of my favorite tools for local clients is Moz, M-O-Z. And there's other tools like that, but what it does is it claims, creates, or consolidates your map listings. And so that can be Google Maps, Yahoo Maps, Bing Maps. When you go in and you set up a profile on a tool like Moz, it will go look for your business and it'll see where you have, let's say your business shows up on Google Maps and Bing Maps, but the phone number is incorrect on one of them. Because they're not consistent, Google will trust them less in the local results. So when you use a tool, it's called an aggregator. When you use these map aggregators, it'll make sure all those listings are clean and consistent. And any that you don't have a listing on, it will submit it. So when you start to show up in these other maps that are trusted and all the data is consistent, then that encourages Google that your business is more accurate for that local location too. So talk about it in your content and make sure you claim all your profiles and use a tool like Moz.
amazing, amazing. So it is a AZ mouse, right?
MOZ, just three letters.
M
MOZ.
MOZ.
Mm.
Okay, got it. MOZ. I will just start looking for that because I think like it can be a good opportunity in the sales funnels industry, because most probably people are not using the SEOs. Most probably I see a lot of time like funnels are not for the SEO part. Like you can't do the SEO thing with the funnels. I heard a lot of times, but yeah, my thought thought process changed right now after consulting with you and getting a lot of golden nuggets. So it's really makes sense to use that as an opportunity for me. So I have the one biggest thing, like how like how do you optimize your voice searches and AI driven assistants, like how
Say it
we
again.
can just like how we can just search the Google or any site using the AI driven assistant, like the
Mm.
asking from the series and some other things. So how we do work for that?
So how do you use AI
AI,
for
the
SEO?
AI driven, like the Siri or some
Hmm.
other tool like the Amazon Alexa or some other things that from which we can just speak and they open the site for that, the
Mm.
specific like.
So that's kind of what we were talking about with voice search. So it's the same. So you're just using a different tool to ask the question, but what's happening on the back end is very much a normal search. And so when you focus on, Alexa's probably a little bit different because it takes you to an Amazon product, but all the other like other assistants, Siri and Google Assistant, um, those are just looking at regular data, which is websites. So when you focus on quick loading websites, then your assistant can find your website quicker. And then when you focus on good content, then it will find the answer to the question that's being asked by voice or the AI assistant. And then when you have good credibility, it trusts that site. And that's the combination of those three is where these AI assistants get the response from. So on the back end, it's very much just normal SEO and very little difference. But where there is differences, different platforms. So when, optimizing for Amazon versus eBay versus Etsy, those are completely different than search engines because you can only optimize for what they give you access to, which isn't a lot. So with Amazon, you get your product title, your product description, your keywords, your categories. But other than that, you don't own Amazon. And so you can't touch other things. And it's the same thing with eBay and Etsy and any other marketplace. You can only optimize what they give you access to. But as far as traditional assistants accessing search results, it's really just regular SEO that's happening behind the voice.
Got it, got it. And most probably, I just got my all answers, and we are good to for the time. So, is there anything that you want to share with my audience?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk. Thanks for reaching out. There's a lot more we could talk about. I have a free book. If you go to freeseobook.com, there's no sales pitch, doesn't cost anything. It just invites you to an upcoming Facebook group. But that is all of my processes. So if you want to learn how to actually build an SEO campaign, either for yourself or for your client, if you take the time to read that book, it'll give you an entire blueprint.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And I will just mention the link here, freeseobook.com. If anyone want to read this book, then you can just go this visit this link. This link is right. It is a
Yep,
correct.
that's it. Yep.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm super grateful to have you on my show. Literally a lot of golden nuggets you have shared with me. I'm literally appreciate you for giving you your time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you. Just let me wrap up, then I will just connect you once again. Thank you. So as you listen the whole interview, that was really amazing, and Damon giving his special time, like the 2 decades of experience he just shared in just 30 minutes. You can understand like how amazing it is, and he just shared really a value bombs. Like I was just reading a lot of things about the SEO because I was just finding the opportunity in this funnel industry because I am a funnel expert. But I want to know like how we can just go explore more things. And so thank you for the demon again. He just shared a lot of things. And if you have any questions, so you can just reach out again to him. I will just mention his profile links. You can just visit there, and I hope he has some coaching program and something, so you can just join there. So thank you so much, and I will just came back soon with a new episode, with a new guest, with a new marketing strategy that will resolve your all marketing answer. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.